I need to correct something. In my last Harley versus Indian reliability discussion, I mixed several different things together and called all of it reliability. I mixed dealer networks, parts availability, resale value, ease of repair, the number of mechanics who know how to work on the motorcycles. Those things matter, but one of you called me out and you were right. A motorcycle having more dealerships does not automatically make it more reliable. A motorcycle being easy to repair does not mean it breaks less often. And strong resale value doesn't tell you whether the engine will survive 100,000 miles. So today, we're going to ask the question I should have asked the first time. When you turn the key, put the bike in gear, and head hundreds of miles away from home, which motorcycle are you most likely to trust, Harley-Davidson or Indian? The answer isn't as simple as either side wants it to be. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the MotoWeasel. This video came directly from your comments. Some Harley riders believed I gave Indian too much credit. Some Indian riders believed the comparison was heavily biased towards Harley, and several of you pointed out I was measuring the wrong things. One comment put it very clearly: dealer networks are not reliability. Resale value is not reliability. Being easy to repair is not reliability. Reliability should begin with whether the motorcycle can keep piling on miles with basic maintenance. That criticism was fair, so instead of defending my original argument, I went back to the comments and looked at what actual owners were reporting. And what I found is that we really need to separate reliability into different categories, because Harley may win one category while Indian wins another. And if we keep treating all these categories as the same thing, we'll keep talking past one another. Let's begin with the basic definition. Mechanical reliability is simple. How often does the motorcycle fail when it's properly maintained and used under normal conditions? Guys, that includes engine failures, transmission failures, electrical failures, cooling problems, oil leaks, sensor issues, clutch problems, suspension failures, anything that leaves you stranded or requires an unplanned repair. That's actual mechanical reliability. But there are other categories that matter after something goes wrong. There is repairability. How easy is it to diagnose the problem? Can the owner fix it? Can an independent shop fix it? Are instructions, videos, and service information available? And then you have supportability. Can you get the part? How long will it take? Is there a dealer nearby? Will the dealer even work on your motorcycle if it's older? And finally, guys, there is long-term ownership confidence. Do you believe the company will continue supporting the motorcycle? Will the model still have parts available 15 or 20 years from now? Will the manufacturer discontinue the brand, platform, or engine and leave owners behind? All those things affect whether you trust a motorcycle, but they're not the same measurement, and that's where my original comparison went wrong. When I looked through the comments, Indian owners repeatedly made one argument: the best dealer network is the one you rarely need. One writer reported more than 105,000 miles on a 2017 Indian Chieftain. He said the motorcycle had only one major problem: a shifter return spring that failed at around 70,000 miles. Other than that, it was basic maintenance, oil changes, normal wear items, and the original clutch was reportedly still in the motorcycle. Another viewer said his Indian Challenger had more than 82,000 miles with only one issue: a fork seal replacement. That same writer said his newer Harley was sitting while waiting for months for backordered parts. That's an important distinction, guys. Harley may have more dealerships, but a dealership can't help you much when the part isn't available. And Indian owners made a fair point. If the motorcycle keeps running, the dealership count becomes less important. That doesn't prove every Indian is more reliable than every Harley, but high mileage owner reports matter, guys. They show that Indian's Thunderstroke and Power Plus platforms are capable of some serious mileage, and Indian deserves credit for that. But Harley owners also share strong long-term examples. One writer reported 50,000 trouble-free miles on a 2022 Heritage 114, routine fluids, tires, air filter cleaning, fork fluid, the basic maintenance. The motorcycle had reportedly seen the dealership only for its initial service and a minor recall. Before that, the same owner put 65,000 miles on a Sportster with very few problems. Another Harley owner described two motorcycles more than 20 years old. He still had multiple dealers nearby, parts were readily available, and the parts he needed were often sitting on the shelf. Another writer talked about rebuilding and maintaining a Harley that was more than 20 years old, which I think is cool as shit. The dealership wouldn't put a motorcycle that old on the lift, but the aftermarket still offered thousands of compatible parts. That tells us something important about Harley reliability. The mechanical reliability may vary by model, engine, generation, and maintenance history, but Harley has an enormous long-term support ecosystem: independent mechanics, aftermarket manufacturers, owner forums, repair videos, specialty shops, used parts, performance parts. That doesn't mean the motorcycle never breaks. It means that when it does break, the motorcycle may be easier to keep alive, and for someone planning to own a bike for 20 years, yeah, that matters. The most liked reliability related comment made another point. The rider may be the biggest factor of all. A careless owner can destroy almost any motorcycle. Skip oil changes, ignore warning lights, install poorly tuned performance parts, beat on the motorcycle before it warms up, let it sit for months with bad fuel, use cheap components, ignore small problems until they become expensive ones, then blame the manufacturer. Meanwhile, another owner may keep the same model stock, follow the maintenance schedule, and ride it for 100,000 miles. That makes owner stories valuable, but also difficult to compare. When someone says, "My Harley blew up," we need more context. Was it stock? Was it tuned? Was it tuned correct? Was maintenance performed? Was the failure common to the platform? The same standard applies to Indian. Was the motorcycle maintained properly? Was it overloaded? Was there a known recall? Was the problem caused by a modification? Reliability can't be measured from one bad experience or one perfect experience, but when the same failure appears repeatedly across many owners, then we need to pay attention. This is where brand loyalty makes the conversation difficult. Harley owners sometimes dismiss known Harley problems. Indian owners sometimes dismiss known Indian problems, but both brands have had legitimate issues. Harley has faced complaints involving different generations and platforms, including oil transfer concerns, sumping discussions, compensator failures, heat, electrical problems, and other model-specific issues. Indian has had its own complaints involving electronics, infotainment, heat, suspension components, parts delay, and model-specific failures. The point is not to create a giant list and declare one brand garbage. Every mechanical product can fail. The more useful question is, how widespread is the issue? How severe is it? And how well does the company support the owner afterward? A minor sensor failure isn't the same as an engine failure. A recall handled quickly isn't the same as a problem the company denies. A part delivered in 2 days isn't the same as a motorcycle sitting for an entire riding season. That leads us to another category I originally mislabeled as reliability. That is dealer network versus parts availability. Guys, Harley clearly has a stronger dealer and independent service network in most parts of the United States. That's a real advantage. If you're traveling across the country and need help, your chances of finding someone familiar with a Harley are genuinely strong. But several commenters challenged the assumption that more dealers automatically mean better support. Some said Harley dealerships were closing in their areas, others said dealerships wouldn't work on older motorcycles, and some reported waiting months for backorder parts. Indian has fewer dealers, and some riders said that their nearest dealer was an hour or more away. That can become a serious issue, especially with warranty work. Proprietary diagnostics are major repairs. But several Indian riders said they rarely needed a dealership and used independent mechanics for basic repairs. So here's the honest breakdown. Harley genuinely wins network availability, but that doesn't prove Harley wins mechanical reliability. Indian may require fewer dealer visits for some owners, but that doesn't remove the risk of having fewer service options when a serious problem occurs. Those are separate advantages and separate risks, guys. One of my earlier arguments was that Harley problems are easier to diagnose because so many owners, mechanics, and YouTube creators have already dealt with them. That is still true. If your Harley has a known problem, guys, there is a good chance someone has documented it. There may be step-by-step repair video, there may be an aftermarket upgrade, there may be 10 forum threads describing the exact symptoms. That makes Harley easier to live with for owners who work on their own motorcycles. But the commenters were right. Knowing how to repair a failure doesn't mean failure should be counted as reliability. It means the bike has strong repair support. That still matters, but we should call it what it is. Indian's owner, community, and aftermarket are growing, but they're not yet as deep as Harley's. They may not matter in the first 5 years. It could matter significantly after 15 or 20 years. There is also one issue hanging over Indian that has nothing to do with current mechanical quality. Polaris shut down Victory motorcycles. Some Victory owners still love their motorcycles. Many say the bikes were extremely reliable, but the shutdown damaged the trust with them. One commenter said that if he'd known Polaris would close Victory, he had made purchase to Harley instead. That doesn't prove Carolwood LLP will shut down Indian, but it explains why some buyers worry about long-term manufacturer commitment. Harley has its own trust problems, but Harley-Davidson's entire identity is built around motorcycles. Polaris has a much broader business. For long-term owners, that distinction matters. Again, that's not mechanical reliability, it's manufacturer reliability. Can you rely on the company to continue supporting the product you purchased? Guys, that's a fair question. Here's my honest answer. Based on the owner reports, I don't believe there's enough evidence to declare every current Harley more reliable than every current Indian or the other way around. Indian owners have provided credible examples of Thunderstroke and Power Plus motorcycles exceeding 80,000 and even 100,000 miles with relatively few major problems. Harley owners have provided equally credible examples of the Milwaukee 8, the Twin Cam, Sportster and older models accumulating serious mileage with proper maintenance. The specific model, engine, year, modifications, and owner, I think matter more than the logo on the tank. But if I had to break down the comparison today, this will be my verdict. Mechanical reliability. I think it's too close to declare one universal winner. I feel that both brands have high mileage examples and known failures. Dealer coverage. Harley wins when it comes to dealer coverage. Independent repair options. Again, Harley wins when it comes to independent repair options. Aftermarket and long-term parts ecosystem. Again, Harley wins on that one. They've been around. They have plethora of parts available. Standard equipment and features for the price. I'm going to give that to Indian. Indian often wins when it comes to that. High mileage confidence. I'm going to say both have credible owner evidence, guys. Risk of being far from brand specific support. Harley generally carries less risk. Risk of paying more for fewer factory installed features? Again, Harley generally carries more risk. That may not satisfy the brand loyalist, but it is the most honest conclusion I can reach. The better question is not, is Harley more reliable than Indian? The better question is, which motorcycle gives me the best chance of completing the type of riding I do with the least amount of downtime, expense, and frustration? If you live near several Harley dealers, work on your own motorcycle, and plan to keep the bike for 20 years, Harley's ecosystem may be extremely valuable for you. If you want more factory installed equipment, prefer the Indian platform, and have a strong dealer or independent shop nearby, then Indian may be your better choice. If mechanical reliability is your only concern, some commenters would tell you to skip both brands and buy a Japanese motorcycle, and honestly, that argument deserves its own video. So yes, I asked the wrong question. I treated reliability, repairability, parts availability, dealership access, and resale value as though they were one thing, and they're not. The comments forced me to rethink the comparison, and that's exactly what I want this channel to be. Not Harley propaganda, not Indian propaganda, not blind loyalty to either brand, just riders having honest conversations and correcting the record when the evidence demands it. Now, I want to hear from you. Don't just tell me which brand you like, guys. Tell me, what year and model do you own? How many miles are on it? What major failures have you experienced? And would you trust that motorcycle on a 2,000-mile trip tomorrow? Those answers will tell us more than any brand war argument ever will. And if enough of you respond, I'll put the results together and make a follow-up video based entirely on real owner, mileage, and repair history. Guys, subscribe to this channel if you want honest motorcycle conversations without the corporate talking points or blind brand loyalty. And again, until next time, guys, ride safe, stay honest, and I'll see you in the next one.